Basics.
From overseeing the campaign that caused the fall of Reach, to leading the Elite Rebellion against his former masters, there is one character from the Halo trilogy whose impact is just as large as that of the Master Chief's. These are the basics on Thel Vadam. Thel was born as a noble within the House of Vadam and was trained in the ways of combat by only the best instructors on Helios. When he became of age, he joined the Covenant army and over time impressed his superiors thanks to his cunning and acts of conviction, and was eventually named Supreme Commander of the Fleet of Particular Justice by the Prophet of Truth. One of Thel's biggest accomplishments as his time as Supreme Commander was when he led the surprise assault on the planet Reach. The Covenant had arrived to the planet to obtain Forerunner technology, but when their scouts had detected a major human presence, they had assumed that Reach was the human homeworld. And so, Supreme Commander Vadam brought his entire fighting force to Reach to not only secure the Forerunner technology, but to wipe out humanity. However, one ship did manage to escape the planet, the Pillar of Vadam. A portion of Thel's fleet followed suit and inadvertently discovered the greatest prize of all, a Halo ring. Thel's forces would land on the ring and attempt to hunt down all remaining humans, while also preparing the ring for activation to begin the Great Journey. While delving deep into the ring, however, Thel's forces would accidentally awaken and unleash the zombie-like plague, the Flood. While Thel's forces did what they could to contain the Flood, they were quickly overran, and they were so distracted by the chaos they couldn't respond to the Chief detonating the Pillar of Vadam self-destruct sequence, which not only destroyed the ring, but all Covenant forces and Flood forces that were still on the surface. Soon the Covenant super city of High Charity would arrive to assess the damage, and Thel would be apprehended for allowing the humans to escape and for the destruction of the ring. Thel would be found guilty and branded with the mark of shame, and sentenced to death. Later he would be brought before the Prophets of Truth and Mercy in the Mausoleum of the Arbiter. This is where Thel would be made the new Arbiter by the Prophet of Truth. This was done so that way Thel could not only serve out his death sentence, but still be a useful tool for the Prophets.
What would you have your Arbiter do?
Thel would be sent out on various missions, with his first being the assassination of a radical heretic leader that dared question the words of the prophets. Upon arriving at the facility, Thel and company would not only encounter the heretics, but also the Flood. The heretic leader would also show that he had acquired his knowledge from the Oracle, or as we know him, 343 Guilty Spark. Thel would successfully take out the heretic leader and capture the Oracle. The triumph of this success would be short-lived, as soon the prophets would be made aware that their fellow council member, the Prophet of Regret, had been slain by the demon, the title given to Master Chief by the Covenant. This would cause the elites to lose their status in the Covenant, and the brutes would take their place as honor guards. The Arbiter would lead several missions until he was betrayed by the brute chieftain Tartarus, who was ordered to dispatch the Arbiter by the Prophet of Truth himself. Thel would find himself rescued by the Gravemind alongside the man that caused his downward spiral, the Master Chief. The Gravemind manipulates Chief and Arbiter to work together to stop the Covenant from firing the ring, which they now have the ability to do after capturing Miranda Keys and the Index. While Chief was sent to High Charity, the Arbiter was sent back to the ring's surface, where the Arbiter would help in the revolt against the Covenant, even teaming up with Sergeant Johnson to storm the temple where Miranda Keys and Tartarus were located. This was also where the firing mechanism of the ring could be found. Arbiter and Johnson were able to interrupt the firing sequence, however the side effect was that now all the rings across the galaxy would rumble to life and enter standby mode, ready to be fired manually at the Ark. Thel would join Johnson and Miranda in returning to Earth, which was now under siege by the Covenant, who had arrived to search for the gateway to the Ark. After reuniting with Chief, Thel would assist him in not only fighting off the Covenant, but also prevent the Flood from spreading on Earth when the plague arrived on the planet during the battle. After Chief discovered a secret message from Cortana, the elites in the UNSC officially agreed to work together to stop the Covenant and the Flood, and would pursue Truth through the portal and arrive at the Ark. After several hard-fought battles, Chief and Thel would arrive at the Ark's activation platform, where Truth was about to make Johnson fire the rings. The Flood would make an unexpected appearance here and help Chief and Thel reach the console. But before they could arrive, Miranda Keyes would crash through the observation window and would attempt to free Johnson at the cost of her own life. Thel and Chief would stop Truth, and Thel would finally get his vengeance upon the tyrant.
I am Truth, the voice of the Covenant! So, you must be silenced.
Following the death of Truth, the Covenant was in shambles, which allowed the perfect opportunity for the Gravemind to turn on Chief and the Arbiter. After fighting their way through the facility and helping Chief rescue Cortana, they made their way to the center of the Ark, where they discovered a new ring intended to replace the one destroyed by Master Chief in Halo 1 was being constructed. The plan was set to detonate and destroy the unfinished Halo ring. This would not only damage the Ark beyond repair, but also would destroy High Charity, which had been fully consumed by the Flood, ending the threats of not only the Halo rings, but also the Flood once and for all. The plan mostly worked. The new ring was destroyed and the Ark was damaged by the explosion, but not permanently taken offline. As for the Flood, while they weren't completely wiped out, they were sealed away until accidentally released by the Banished several years later. The Forward onto Dawn, the ship that Thel and the Chief would escape on, was split into two due to a slipspace accident. Arbiter's section of the ship would crash land on Earth and he would be rescued by the UNSC. However, Chief and Cortana were left adrift in space. See the basics on Master Chief and Cortana to find out what happened to them. Thel would return to his home world of Sanghelios, where he would attempt to unite his people under a reformed banner. Although this would be an issue when several elites would attempt to reform the Covenant under the leadership of Jul 'Mdama. This would eventually cause a civil war between the two factions. It was during this conflict that Fireteam Osiris would arrive in search of a Guardian, and use it to pursue the Master Chief who had gone AWOL. The Arbiter would assist, but only as a favor to his old friend the Chief. We don't know exactly what happened to the Arbiter following the events of Halo 5, at least not yet at the time of recording this video. It would seem that he stayed behind on Sanghelios to aid his people in fighting the Created, and did not join the Chief in the Battle of Zeta Halo, as cool as it would have been to see Arbiter and Chief take on Atriox. But what we do know is that wherever his path has led him, he will continue to be one of the most interesting and important characters within the Halo canon. And those were the basics on Thel Vadam, the Arbiter. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe, so that way you don't miss out on any future installments of Halo the Basics. Be sure to follow us across the web with all our links in the description. Until next time, this is Amped Hero of Advent Spartans, and I will see you at the next spawn point.
Thanks for watching Halo the Basics. Like and subscribe.